Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Mudirayet Nashtaprayeshva Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavatyuttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanasalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupaha Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yuta Padakamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Deenabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय श्रीमद् भागवत गीता की जय समवेत गौर भक्त वृंद की जय Hare Krishna dear devotees. I welcome you all to Srimad Bhagavatam for All session. Today is April 16th, 2025. And in Srimad Bhagavatam, we are reading from the 10th canto, chapter 6, Killing of the Demon Putana. And we have to begin with text 21. Yesterday we saw how the gopis, after bringing baby Krishna from the body of Putana, climbing on top of the body of Putana, they brought the baby to picked him up, and then Mother Rohini and Yashoda Mai, along with the other principal gopis, elderly gopis, began to take, began performing certain rituals for the protection of baby Krishna. So first, what did they do? Gopucha Brahmanadivihi. With the switch of a cow's tail, they rotated the switch of a cow around the body of Krishna. What else did they do? Gomutrena snapayitva. They bathed the body of Krishna with cow urine. Punar go rajasarbhakam. With the dust raised by the hooves of cows, with that raj, right? That dust, they did, they sprinkled it on the body of Krishna like that. Raksham chakruscha sakrita dvadashangeshu namabihi. And then for further protection, they applied cow dung on the body of Krishna in 12 places, in 12 parts, while chanting the names of the Lord. Just like we chant the names of the Lord while applying tilak in 12 parts of the body, in the same way, they applied cow dung in 12 places, smeared cow dung on the body of Krishna, And then on these 12 places touching those parts, they started chanting the names of the Supreme Lord. Now today's verse. gopyaḥ saṁspṛṣṭa-salilā aṅgeṣu karayoḥ pṛthak nyasyātmany atha bālasya bīja-nyāsam akurvata. gopyaḥ saṁspṛṣṭa-salilā. The gopis, saṁspṛṣṭa, that means touching or sipping. Salila means water. That means they are performing acamana, touching a cup of water and drinking. Saṁspṛṣṭa-salilā means touching a cup of water and drinking. That means performing acamana for purification. gopyaḥ saṁspṛṣṭa-salilā aṅgeṣu karayoḥ pṛthak. Aṅgeṣu, on their bodies. Kara means hands, on their hands. Separately, nyasa, atmani, atha, bālasya. Nyasa means placing the letters of the mantra. What is happening here? Anga means the bodily parts. Kara means with hands. And pṛthak means separately. That means on each of these bodily parts, angas of baby Krishna, they would put their hand, and then nyasa, they're chanting the mantra. So by chanting the mantra, what they're doing, just like when you're putting tilak, you say Om Keshavaya Namaha. While you're uttering the mantra, you're touching that part of the body. Om Keshavaya Namaha. That means you're placing that mantra in that place by chanting that, by touching and chanting at the same time, sing that mantra on that anga. Om Keshavaya Namaha. Then you touch Om Narayanaya Namaha, touching with the hand on that particular bodily part, and then chanting the mantra. That's what they are doing. gopyaḥ saṁspṛṣṭa-salilā. First they did acamana, and also when you do acamana also. Actually, not only while doing tilak, even when we are doing acamana, first is acamana is done in both ways, especially when you're doing deity worship, you know. You do Om Keshavaya Namaha, Om Narayanaya Namaha, Om Madhavaya Namaha. Acamana you do by sipping water. That's one. And then further, there are all the other mantras that we chant for tilak. For that, how do? You're actually touching those, you're touching your eyes, like you're touching different parts of the body, and you're performing acamana for purification. So like that, the gopis performed acamana. So this is not, that was finished. So excuse me, correction here. Previously, what they did was they applied cow dung. They applied cow dung on the body of Krishna and on 12 parts. And while they applied cow dung, touching that part, they chanted Om Keshavaya Namaha. That is for Krishna's body. Now they are doing their own acamana by sipping water like this. Om Keshavaya Namaha, Om Narayana Namaha, Om Madhavaya Namaha. And then further acamana continues, right? By touching different angas of the body, you're chanting, my shoulders, back, like that. So they're performing acamana by touching the limbs of the body and chanting that particular mantra. So what they're doing in this verse is they're doing acamana, purification. Why? Before you worship, you have to do this. This is a, purification step for your purification, and then you go and worship the Lord. So like that, now they're going to chant some mantras for Krishna's protection. Before that, they're performing acamana. gopyaḥ saṁspṛṣṭa-salilā aṅgeṣu karayoḥ pṛthak. So each of the limbs, angas, they're touching with the hands separately, right? My eyes, my nose, lips, like this, head, like that, ears. You keep touching different parts of the body and chant the particular mantras. aṅgeṣu karayoḥ pṛthak nyasa. Nyasa means placing the letters of mantra while touching. Atha, then nyasa nyasa-atmany. So those mantras, where are they placing? Not on Krishna's body, their own body, because they're doing acamana, atmani, on their own body. Nyasa-atmany, atha, bālasya. Then bīja-nyāsam, the process of mantra, akurvata. Now they're going to touch the body of the baby, Krishna. And now they will chant mantras for protection of the baby. So before they could chant the mantras for protection of the baby, first they chanted the mantras acaman to purify themselves. And after finishing that, atha means afterwards, then bālasya, bīja-nyāsam. So nyasam is chanting mantra and placing that mantra on the body. So bīja-nyāsam akurvata. They executed the chanting of mantras, placing those mantras on the body of Krishna, they did. So what is happening? First, they did acaman with water. Then they did acaman by touching various parts of the body and chanting the mantras on their own bodies for purification. After that, now they placed the bija mantras on they executed. So that we will see what mantras they chanted by touching which parts of the body of Krishna. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. The gopis first executed the process of acaman, drinking a sip of water from the right hand. They purified their bodies and hands with the nyasa mantra, and then applied the same mantra upon the body of the child. Purport. Just like if you see, the acaman mantras and the tilak mantras will be the same. Yes? Om Keshavaya Namah, Om Narayana Namah, Om Madhavaya Namah. And then when you put tilak, the same mantras. Om Keshavaya Namah, Om Narayana Namah, Om Madhavaya Namah, Om Govindaya Namah. Like that. So first they purified themselves, then they placed those mantras on the body of Krishna by touching. They purified their bodies and hands with the nyasa mantra and then applied the same mantra upon the body of the child. Purport. Nyasa mantra includes acaman or first drinking a sip of water kept in the right hand. There are different Vishnu mantras to purify the body. The gopis, and in fact any householders, all householders knew this. Like yesterday also we were reading that every householder would have a cow, and every day the mother would rotate the switch of the cow around the baby, sprinkle dust from the cow's hooves on the baby. Every woman knew this and they did it, and their children were protected, no harm. Like that, every householder, not just the gopis, but any householder knew the process of how to perform acaman. How many people in the world know this today? How many householders know? Forget about ISKCON devotees. We are taught. I hope we are teaching our children also how to do acaman and all that. It's not said it's only for brahmanas or pujaris. No. The gopis, first of all, the gopis were cowherds, but they knew these mantras and they knew how to do acaman. And Srila Prabhupada is saying that every householder, the gopis, and in fact, any householder knew the process of being purified by chanting Vedic hymns. Acaman should be performed. And tilak must be applied by everyone. The gopis executed this process first to purify themselves and then to purify the child Krishna. One executes the process of anga nyasa and nyasa. So what is anga nyasa? The various limbs of the body. And nyasa means with hands. Simply by drinking a little sip of water and chanting the mantra. So that acaman that we perform, one thing is you are drinking the sip of water. So in that water, you're chanting that mantra. You take a sip of water and you chant the mantra, Om Keshavaya Namaha, into that water. And then you sip that water. Nyasa. And anga nyasa is by same by chanting mantra and touching that on various angas. Anga nyasa and karayoḥ. You perform simply by drinking a sip of water and chanting the mantra. Both these are performed like this. Anga nyasa and karayoḥ are performed by chanting mantras and also drinking a sip of water. The mantra is preceded with the first letter of the name, followed by anuswara and the word namaha. So when you chant a mantra, it is preceded by what? Preceded with the first letter of the name, followed by anuswara and the word namaha. For example, Om Namo Jas Tavangri Avyat Mam Mano Manimam Stava Januni Avyat and so on. Om Namo Jas Oja. So here Jas means Om Namo Jas. So this is a mantra, for example. The mantra is preceded with the first letter of the name. So what is the first letter of the name? We will see in the next one, like Aja. Aja is the name. So the mantra is preceded by the first letter of the name, followed by anuswara and the word namaha. Om Namo Jas Tavangri Avyat Mam Mano Manimam Stava Januni Avyat and so on. So by losing Indian culture, this is the lesson for us. By losing Indian culture, Indian householders have forgotten how to execute the anga nyasa and are simply busy in sense gratification without any advanced knowledge of human civilization. You will see at every step, if you simply read Srila Prabhupada's purport, it's like, like a stick. What are you doing? Right? In the previous purport, we see about, cows, how everyone knows, that you can protect your children simply by, with the cow, cow dust, cow urine, cow, what do you say, gobar, right? You know how to purify, and with the tail. So doing that, everybody knew how to protect. All the ladies knew how to protect their children. And now they know how to chant mantras, Vedic mantras for purification. Every householder knew this, to purify themselves and purifying their children by chanting Vedic mantras. They knew this. Om Namo Jas Tavangri Avyat Mam Mano Manimam Stava Januni Avyat and so on. But by losing Indian culture, Indian householders have forgotten how to execute the anga nyasa. What to speak of outside the world, even outside India, even within India. Actually, we will come to that even in Bhagavad Gita, that topic will come. How systematically we are made to forget our own culture, our scriptures and everything, systematically, in a planned way. By losing Indian culture, Indian householders have forgotten how to execute anga nyasa and are simply busy in sense gratification without any advanced knowledge of human civilization. So every householder, every householder is supposed to have deity at home. They're supposed to have an altar. Deity means either you have a picture, but there is a designated area where you worship the Supreme Lord. This is essential for a householder. And the first thing in the morning, you have to, you clean your house, you take bath, and after you take your bath, then you have to purify yourself by performing acamana. It's essential. Chanting mantras. Acamana means chanting mantras. Sipping water, by chanting the mantras into water, sipping that water, purifying your body. And also after you take bath, that is just externally, using water and soap, you clean the body, but you have to purify the body by acamana. And even before that, by putting tilak on various parts of the body, you should decorate the body. That is real ornaments. Actual ornament is to put tilak on various limbs of the body. And then you have to purify by chanting mantra every day. Just like every day you brush your teeth. We learned that we should brush our teeth. I hope so. But because I think here the propaganda is you should brush your teeth before going to bed. Whether you brush your teeth in the morning or not is not so important, but you should brush before going to bed. Everything is topsy-turvy. Actually, after every time you eat, you are supposed to rinse your mouth. So that takes care of it. It's not that you have to brush your teeth in the night with toothpaste and all that. But in the morning, you brush your teeth and also you take bath. But that's not all. After you take bath, also, you have to purify the body by chanting mantras, and every householder knew this. What mantras to chant, what acamana to perform. It's given in a very simplified way to us. Just the first three. Om Keshavaya Nama, Om Narayana Nama, Om Madhavaya Nama. Only three. At least that much all householders must know. What to speak of the entire, purification of each limb. That will come by practice. It's not just like going to school and memorizing and finished. This comes by doing it every day. Doing is learning. It comes by practice. So if you make it part of your lifestyle, after you take bath in the morning, you perform acamana and you go and worship the deity, then you'll know the mantras, you'll know how to perform acamana and everything. It'll just be part of your lifestyle. And that's how they would worship Tulsi in the morning, they would worship cow in the morning. They knew it. This was part of the Vedic lifestyle. Every householder knew these things. That's the point. But now we have lost our Indian culture, Srila Prabhupada is saying. Just externally, it's like about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, it is said, Krishna Varnam Tvisha Akrishnam. Krishna Varnam means he's actually Krishna, but his complexion externally, it's the opposite, Akrishna, not Krishna. That means not black. He belongs to the category of Krishna. He is Krishna inside, but outside he looks, Krishna means dark, right? Black complexion. But externally he's looking the opposite, white. So for us, it's the other way around. Externally, we have the look of an Indian, but inside we are the opposite. Right? We don't know the Vedic culture, Indian culture, Indian practices, Indian food, we forget everything. But externally, we just have the features, right? The features and the shape of, even the dressing has changed now. We don't dress like according to Indian culture. We don't eat according to Indian culture. We don't speak our language. Even I'm speaking in a foreign language. That is our condition. That's what Srila Prabhupada is pointing here. What is Srila Prabhupada saying in the purport? The last line I'll read one more time. By losing Indian culture, Indian householders have forgotten how to execute the anga nyasa and are simply busy in sense gratification. Yes, because we see that they are our leaders, they are our role models, right? The way people are living in the world, whatever they are showing us, oh, this is the goal. Without any advanced knowledge of human civilization, we consider this to be advancement. Getting college degrees, higher and higher college degrees means now we are advanced. If you don't have a college degree, then you look down upon that person. Not so advanced, not so good. The person may have Vedic knowledge, the person may know how to worship the deities and how to do acamana, but me, the Indian, I'm thinking that's not advanced. Advanced means how many degrees does this person have? 1 degree, 2 degree, 3 degrees, master's, PhD. Now this person is advanced. It's a doctor. Oh, he's advanced. He makes so much, lots of money. He has a big house. Oh, this person is advanced. He has so many cars. He's advanced. He's the CEO of a company with so many people under him. He's an advanced person. But what is actual advancement? That comes from Vedic civilization. These simple people, they know how to purify their bodies. But we, the advanced Indians here, we don't even know that we have to take bath after we pass stool. We just go and there's no need to take bath also. This is our advancement. But they knew how to keep themselves pure, not just taking bath, but what mantras to chant, how to purify with Vedic mantras, they know. That is the pitiable condition of the present day Indians. But thanks to Srila Prabhupada, he came to wake us up. Otherwise, we were just getting, not even feeling any regret about this, isn't it? Yes, Mataji. Achyut Priya Mataji.
Yes, Mataji. Hare Krishna Dandavatamu. Darshan Krippanjali. Mataji, when you were telling us about this, about external purification and internal purification by doing acamana, it reminded me like my parents used to sit down in the wooden plank and they used to do acamana before doing the japa. And the morning, it was like that, Mataji. Now no one is doing
Yeah,
like
that's
that.
what Srila Prabhupada is saying. Yeah. Some, those who gave value to that, they were able to keep it. But most people just left that behind, thinking that this is not practical in the modern day, right? No. Because we get sucked. That's why the jobs that we do and the lifestyle, the education and the jobs, they are given to us by the demons. Demons don't want, they will not allow you to practice devotional service and they will not allow you to follow the Vedic culture. So they will keep you so busy that right from waking up in the morning until going to bed at night, they'll make you run around. So no time for worshipping, no time for purification. There's no relaxed life. In Telugu, there's a saying, Kshanam tirika ledu, dammidi adayam ledu. That
Yes,
means
Mataji.
you don't have, you're so busy, you don't even have a second to relax. But what is the result of all that hard work? You have not earned even one penny. So here penny doesn't mean material, wealth. What is the real wealth that we are supposed to earn in this human form of life? We are stuck in the cycle of birth and death. Again and again, we are taking birth. We have to come out of this. So, how much have we gained in terms of coming out of this whirlpool? Instead of coming out, our work, our lifestyle, everything, our association, our food, everything is making us more and more entangled. Instead of bringing us out of that entanglement, it is keeping us more and more entangled. Yet, we are so busy, we don't have time for anything. We don't even have time to sit down and hear Bhagavad Gita peacefully for half an hour, 1 hour. That also
Yes,
we will do
Mataji.
by doing so many other things. And most of it goes above our head only. Because we are busy, we are trying to do this and that, and something, let something go. Will they allow you to do that work in the office like that? That you do your household work and then you do? No, they won't allow it. They
Yes,
want the
yes.
result. But for that, everything, full attention. School, studies, full focus. Stop all other work, give full attention and focus and study. But when it comes to the real knowledge, which is actually going to help us, we don't take it seriously. Actually, therefore, that's why it becomes an offense, aparad. And because of aparad, we are not seeing the result coming. Same with chanting Hare Krishna also. That's the most important thing in our life. Chanting Hare Krishna is the most important thing. But we do that along with everything else. I have to complete 16 rounds somehow or other. Let me finish it. This way, that way, somehow I finished my 16. Ho gaya. Yeah, yathamam prapadyante tams tathaiva bhajamyaham. As you approach me, I reward you accordingly. Whereas that person who takes this as the most important thing, let the world go to hell. But I have to spend at least, I made this commitment, at least these 2 hours, I will sincerely chant. I will give these 2 hours to Krishna. I will try my best with my capacity. My mind may be going here and there. I will try to pull the mind. If I'm sitting, if I'm falling asleep, asleep, then I'll get up and I'll stand. I'll do whatever I can so that I will I will offer this service attentively. That is called sincerity. But we just think it's all right, insincerely doing something, sometimes doing, sometimes not doing. That's how we'll be stuck. We won't make progress. So in every field, it's like that. That which is actually important, the Vedic culture, which is so important, cows are so important, agriculture is so important. We think this is insignificant. This is not, practical. And let me take care of my life now. Before you know, you'll be old and your life will be finished and it'll just be a dream. Oh, I will do after I retire. That day will never come. Start working. It will not happen. Already, most of us are like, in our middle age, past middle age. So wake up, wake up, wake up. Jeev jago. Okay, Priyanka Mataji is saying, thank you, Mataji. Achit Priya
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Yes. So Mataji, Priyanka Mataji, you're asking me about achaman. Mataji has sent in the chat. One second. So Mataji is saying, how many times achaman should be done? So actually, as I said, Prabhupada gave us simple 3. Om Keshavaya Namah, Om Narayana Namah, Om Madhavaya Namah. That much also you do, no problem, at home. But if you really want to do nicely, it's just, as I said, it's just a practice. If you look at Pancharatra Pradeep, you will get the details, while chanting. So these first three are done by sipping water. The rest are done, the same tilak mantras only you'll be chanting. And so while chanting those mantras, you'll be touching various parts of the body while chanting those mantras, like that. So, like this, you'll be touching various parts and you're chanting. So when we used to worship on the altar, a printout was taken and it is stuck outside the altar in the pujari room. So when someone comes to perform achaman, while seeing that, we used to perform achaman and, everything else. Before after a few days, everything is memorized. You don't need to look at the chart anymore because you're doing it every day. So there's no harm if you did every day. You should do it every day also. The whole thing you can do. So much time we waste anyway. These things, small things, like we think putting tilak is a big thing. Only when there is some festival or when I go to temple, I put tilak. The rest of the time, I think I don't need. 24 hours you should have tilak. What are we learning from this pastime? Tilak is protecting you. Small baby was attacked by this demoness Rakshasi. So to protect the baby, what are they doing? They're applying cow dung everywhere. Tilak in these places, 12 places. Those are the places of tilak. If Krishna is being protected, what about us? Don't we need protection? Tilak must be there all the time. 24 hours it must be there. But our masters will not allow it. They will allow you to wear all types of clothes, no problem. But tilak should not be there. Neck bead should not be there. That which will protect you should not be there. That which will degrade you, no problem. You can have. Anyway. So, achaman. So I'm saying you can do whole thing. No problem with that. It's just a matter of practice. It hardly takes a few seconds to do the whole thing. If you want to do, you can do. Sitting or standing? Yeah, Priyanka Mataji is asking, so I'm responding. So she's asking, should we do sitting or standing? Sitting, Mataji. Earlier, we used to just stand and do because we were not told. But when that Mahabharat course happened, His Grace Venugopal Prabhu was teaching Mahabharat course. There we came across this story of Uttanka. There are 3 disciples. One of them is Uttanka. So, you have to give a Guru Dakshina to the Guru. So his Guru's wife said that Uttanka, as Guru Dakshina, he should get the earrings of the queen. Wearing those earrings, she will give, Brahmana Bhojana, right? She'll perform some, ritual and then she will feed everyone. So by that, she'll get so her thing was wearing those earrings, I'll do. So go and get me the earrings of the queen. That was her Guru Dakshina she was asking. So Uttanka went, but then he was being tested by Lord Indra. So what happened was, Indra came in the form of anyway, the full story no need. But the point is, on the way, he had to do achaman. So when he was doing achaman, because he was in a hurry, he had to go to the queen and get. So he did achaman standing, and he ran. And when he actually went to the queen was a chaste lady. So this is the quality of chaste ladies. When someone is actually punya stri, pativrata stri, no man will be able to see her. No man means a man with an unpurified or contaminated consciousness, like people who are lusty or who are polluted, right? She's protected from such people's bad vision. They won't even be able to see her. Her chastity protects her. So this queen was a chaste lady, and Uttanka performed achaman. For some other reason, he had to perform achaman. He did it, and he ran, and he went to the palace. He was right there where the queen was, but he didn't see the queen. So what happened? Then he found out, because there was an offense. When he was performing achaman, he was standing and performing achaman, and because of that offense, now he became polluted. Because of that pollution, now he could not see the queen, even though he was there. So once again, he went back, and this time he sat down properly and he did his achaman. And then when he went, he actually saw the queen. So this is an episode from Mahabharata. Why this episode is there? It's a real, Mahabharata is history, things that actually happened. It's not made up stories. And also history not just happened actually. That's also a wrong statement. Correct statement is, it is Veda. This also will come actually in Bhagavad Gita. Vedas are apaurusheya. They are not written by any human being. Vedas are directly coming from the Supreme Personality of Godhead. From his, first of all, when he glances on Prakriti, through his glance, the Vedas enter into Prakriti, beginning of creation. And then from there, they enter from Garbhodakashaya Vishnu, they're entering into, or they're there in Virata Purusha. First they enter Prakriti, then they come out. When Virata Purusha is formed, the same Vedas come out from the mouth of Virata. Brahmaji, who receives this, the Vedas from the Lord, he receives the same Vedas, and those Vedas are coming to us in disciplic succession. So in the Vedas, there is Rig Veda, Sam Veda, Yajur Veda, and Atharva Veda. Even the Puranas and Itihasas are also Veda, Panchama Veda. We think Vedas are 4, wrong, 5. 4 Vedas, and the fifth Veda is Itihasa Puranas. So in the Itihasa, you have Mahabharata. So Mahabharata is actually Veda. What do you mean by Veda? Veda is not a story written by someone. It's not written by anyone. It is not even written. It's not created in the first place. It's not created even by God. It's not created. It is eternally existing. The way the Lord is eternally existing, the same way Veda is also eternally existing. And it's simply manifesting and unmanifesting. It appears and it disappears. Like the Lord. Like the sun comes and disappears, sets. Sun rises and sun sets. It's not that when the sun sets, sun is finished. It is setting, and again it will appear the next day, like that. So similarly, the Lord also, from time to time, he appears. Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata abhyutthanam adharmasya tadatmanam srijamyaham. Srijami, I appear. At certain intervals, he appears, and then he disappears. Like that, the Vedas also appear and disappear. They are eternal. So Mahabharata is Veda. Mahabharata also appears and disappears. That means whatever you see in Mahabharata, it is not written based on what actually happened. It is an eternal thing. It will repeat in cycles. It keeps happening again and again. The characters will be the same. Just like you have a play, a drama. Let's say there's a play of Shakuntala. Shakuntala and Dushyanta. That episode is there. You want to produce, right, a skit, a drama on that, and you do it in different places. Now we'll do in ISKCON Philadelphia, Then after a few months, we'll do in ISKCON, New York. After a few months, we will do in Baltimore. Then after some days, we'll do in New Vrindavan. Let's say 4 places you're going to present. You're going to show this play. But when you're doing it here in ISKCON, Philadelphia, you will recruit the devotees from here, local devotees. The best example is His Holiness Bhakti Marg Maharaj. That's what he does. He has the play, and wherever he goes, on the spot, he will recruit the people from there, and he'll present. He'll just train them in a matter of 1, 2, 3 days, and then they will put up the show. And then he'll go to some other place. He will recruit local people, same characters, same play is produced with different people playing those roles. What I'm trying to say here is, all the episodes that you see in Mahabharata, they are like a play. The script is there already. From time to time, when Mahabharata happens, the battle of Kurukshetra happens, and all the stories that are there in Mahabharata, they will be repeated with different people at that particular time. They take roles of these. The casting, right, will be changed. That particular role will be played by a different living entity in different kalpas. But the same story happens again and again. What does this tell you? That the message that you're getting from all these stories is eternal message. Coming back to Priyanka Mataji's question about sitting or standing, this story tells us, Uttanka's story tells us, that achaman should be performed while sitting down. It should not be performed while standing. It is so satisfying and, reassuring to know, because usually our confusion is what is right and what is wrong. How to know? This person said this person said that. My authority said that, someone else's authority said that. How am I to do? What is right, what is wrong? Shastra pramana. Shastra is pramana. You just do what Shastra tells you. You cannot go wrong. You cannot go wrong. But of course, you cannot, you cannot on your own understand Shastra. That is also there. Because Shrutayo Vibhinna. There are many, many Shastras. So many things are said. So that is why Mahajano Yena Gatasya Pantha. You must follow the Mahajans. Mahajans means, for us, Srila Prabhupada has given us the path. But nevertheless, if you scrutinizingly see, they will not, Mahajans will not, Acharyas will not go against. It's a very, they don't reject. Nobody can reject what is said in Shastra. No, there's no need to do this. They won't say that. But according to this, some things can be adjusted and some things cannot be adjusted. And we should not take into our hands to decide what we will adjust and what we will not adjust. Acharya can do that. We cannot do that. So if you actually following Shastra, if you made it a point that I will sit down and do my achaman, there's nothing wrong on your part. It's good. Because you're following Shastra. Nobody will find fault with that. Yes, Mataji. Subhadra Mataji.
Mataji, what if somebody has some physical discomforts and doctor asks them not to do?
That's a special case. Then
yes,
yeah, that's a special case, certainly. We are talking about general principle.
yeah.
Now, just because one person has this difficulty, now if the temple passes a rule, many people can have things like that. So now we pass a rule that nobody will sit down, everyone will stand and do achaman. That will be wrong.
Yeah, so because Nishinga Kavacha Prabhu, when he was here, he said that, like, some people might have that, but then it is not our duty to judge someone. Okay, he or she is standing and doing, they are not perfect, they're not following the Shastra, and people, those who are sitting, they're perfect. So he kind of made it very clear that somebody might have some, like, doctor might have asked not to sit down, so they have no other choice rather than standing and doing. Yeah. So those kind, I just wanted to bring that up.
Yes,
so,
Mataji,
thank
sure.
you so much, Mataji.
Thank you. The thing here is, it's not about, it's about our obedience to Shastra. That will bring us to the mode of goodness. So the whole thing is, as I told you, I was trained always. Trained means that's how everyone did. Standing up and doing achaman because it is quick, right? It's kept on top of the counter and you just stand there and you just do, and everyone goes inside. And all those years I just did like that only. And when I heard this in Mahabharat class, I was like, but Prabhuji, all these years we did like this only. Everyone I know, they all do like that only. And then he said, no, it's not like that. See, it's like one person does it, uh, and then the followers just follow it. And then very soon that becomes the normal, that becomes the standard. Somewhere down the line, someone made some adjustment. That may be an accident, that may be negligence, whatever. But all the followers start doing the same thing, and then that becomes the standard. Now, when someone says, no, this is the right thing, now that becomes wrong because everyone is doing, what are you talking about? That looks weird, that looks strange. So therefore, to check, we always have Shastra, right? What is right and what is wrong. To see that, we always have Shastra. So then I found out, no, it's not like that. Actually, when they were trained in the temples in India, if somebody would do acamana by standing up, immediately the superior would correct them and say, no, you should sit down. And under certain circumstances, like if you're in a hurry, at least you squat down and do. If you're not able to fully sit flat like this, squat down and you do, but you must do it. That is the thing. So now, old habits. Sometimes, I'm like doing standing when I don't remember. But most of the times when I'm doing, it just comes to my mind that, oh, acamana means you should sit down. So I just get down and I do. I think that answered your point, Priyanka Mataji. Let's continue.
Yes, thank you.
Thanks.
So, my question was every time we do any activity related for reading or offering bhog or of course offering arti, and every time we have to do a dachman like before that.
No, deity worship when you do, before you worship the deity, first in the morning when you do arti. But anytime you do offering, yes, we do achaman. Normally we do 3, right? Om Keshavaya Nama, Om Narayana, Madhavaya, like that. But when you are like in the morning, first time, you can do the whole thing.
Okay.
I mean, that's up to you, really, how much you want to do. That's why, see, Srila Prabhupada gave us the basic so that it doesn't become so overwhelming that, my God, so much I cannot do, करके छोड़ देंगे. उससे अच्छा है कुछ तो करो. So he gave us the simple standard always. Same, even with chanting 16 rounds, he gave the minimum. He gave minimum. ये तो करना ही है. But it doesn't mean इतना ही करो. You can do more. There's so much more you can do. So आप अपने situation के हिसाब से, you see how much more you can do, what will fit into your schedule. It's up to you how much you want to do more, you can do. But basic he has given. These 3 you should do anytime you do worship.
Okay. Yeah, thank you.
Yes. So now it's time for Bhagavad Gita. We covered one verse of Bhagavatam. Most of the time went in discussing this last line. By losing Indian culture, Indian householders have forgotten how to execute the anga nyasa and are simply busy in sense gratification without any advanced knowledge of human civilization. So today's Bhagavatam class was about how to purify oneself by anga nyasa and karanyasa. Next, we will see after this purification, the gopis will be chanting mantras. What did I do? Bookmark. Now let's read Bhagavad Gita. We are reading from Srimad Bhagavad Gita, chapter 13. Yesterday, we discussed, so quickly, in text 1, Arjun asked, Prakritim Purusham Chaiva Ksetram Kshetragyam Evacha Etad Veditum Jnanam Gyayam Cha Keshava. Prakriti, Purusha, Kshetram, Kshetragyam, Jnanam, Jneyam. These 6 things, Veditum Ichchami. I desire to know. Who said? Arjuna said. I want to know what is Prakriti, what is Purusha, what is Kshetram, what is Kshetragyam, what is Jnanam, what is Gyayam. Oh Keshava, I have a desire to know this. Then what did Krishna say? Sri Bhagavan Uvacha, idam shariram kaunteya ksetram ityabhidiyate. Idam shariram, this body is called ksetram. Etad yo vetti tam prahuhu, jo isko janta hai. One who knows this body, he is called kshetrajnam. Iti tadvidaha. You should know. You should know that one who knows this body is called kshetrajna. So in that context, we discussed the body as the field, and from the body comes the tree of samsara. This tree produces the fruits of sukham and dukkham. And then about kshetrajnam, we saw also one who knows this kshetra is kshetrajna. So kshetrajna is also of two types. Matlab, this is the living entity kshetrajna, not Paramatma yet. So in the living entity also, one kshetrajna is covered by avidya, another kshetrajna is covered by vidya. The one covered by avidya sees the body as the soul. He cannot see the difference between body and soul. Whereas the kshetrajna who's covered by vidya, he can see that I am not this body, I am a spirit soul. So when will kshetrajna be covered by vidya? When the kshetrajna who is covered by avidya performs nishkama karma yoga, that avidya will be replaced by vidya. Like that, we understood about this kshetrajna. Then Krishna said, kshetrajnam chapi mam vidhi. Cha, this word cha is important. Chakara, right? Cha means also. Also. That means earlier this verse said kshetrajnam is one who knows the kshetram, the living entity, either covered by vidya or avidya. But in the third verse, Krishna is saying kshetrajnam cha mam vidhi. You should know that I am also the kshetrajna. That means apart from living entity, I am also kshetrajna. What does this tell us? It tells us that in this body there are two knowers, not one knower. So the Brahmavadis will be disqualified here, who think that in this body there is only one. Aham Brahmasmi. No, I am there, but there's another knower, Paramatma. There's two people inside. Yeah. So, kshetrajnam chapi mam vidhi. You should know that I am also the kshetrajna in this. Sarva kshetreshu bharata. And also, the difference between me and the other kshetrajna is, I know all kshetras. That previous kshetrajna, the living entity covered with either vidya or avidya, he can only see his kshetra, his body. He can only know about his body. But I know about all bodies. I know about all bodies. Sarva kshetreshu bharata. Kshetra kshetrajnayor jnanam yataś jnanam matam. So knowing this kshetra and kshetrajna, that means knowing the body, knowing the living entity, either covered by vidya or avidya, as well as knowing Paramatma. Knowing these three is known as jnanam. Because Arjun's question was, Prakriti Purusha Kshetram Kshetrajnam Jnanam Jneyam. So Krishna so far answered Kshetra, Kshetrajna and Jnanam. So what is Jnanam? So now quickly, one answer, tell me. What is Kshetra? One word, quick. Kshetram is what? Anyone, just say. What is Kshetram?
Body, field.
What is Kshetrajna?
Atma, Atma.
Narasimha Prahlad Prabhu, what did you say?
Knower of the body.
Knower of the body. Okay. So Swati Mataji said Atma. Okay. Who is the other Kshetrajna?
Paramatma.
Paramatma. Yes. And what is Jnanam?
Knowledge about the Kshetra.
Knowledge about Kshetra is Jnanam.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyone else wants to add to that?
Knowledge about Kshetra, Kshetrajna and body. Field.
Kshetra is only body, no? So knowledge of Kshetra and Kshetrajna is Jnanam. Yes. Knowledge of Kshetra and Kshetrajna together. And when you say Kshetrajna, it includes the living entity and Paramatma. So knowing all these three, the body, the living entity and Paramatma. These three, that is known as jnanam, Krishna said. So in that also we discussed little bit more, because second verse is talking about kshetrajna, the living entity. Third verse is talking about kshetrajna, the Paramatma. What is the difference between both these kshetrajnas? We saw yesterday. So what did we see? The difference between both these kshetrajnas? One
It is
difference.
Anu, that is Vibhu.
Yes.
Anu.
Is Vibhu. Which is Anu?
Jivatma.
Jivatma is Anu.
Jivatma is Anu. Vibhu is Paramatma.
Yes. So now another person, please tell me another difference. What is another difference between Jivatma and Paramatma? One is that one is...
Jivatma knows about his body. Paramatma knows about all the bodies.
Yes. Okay. Next, why? Can you explain, Prabhuji? Why is it that Jivatma knows only about his body and Paramatma knows about all bodies? What is the reason?
Paramatma stays in every bodies, every jiva's bodies. So
Yeah.
he knows everything.
Yeah, he stays in every body. Okay. That's why. Okay. All right. That's fine. But that means we have so many different Paramatmas, or there's one Paramatma?
Only one Paramatma.
So, but Paramatma knows about everybody. There's only one Paramatma, but he knows about everybody. But Jivatma is not able to know about everybody. Why? Both are conscious beings. Why is it that Paramatma is able to know about everyone, Jivatma is able to know only about him? Both are Satchidananda. Jivatma is Satchidananda, Paramatma is Satchidananda. But Jivatma knows only about his body, Paramatma knows about all bodies. Why is that?
Because he is the enters in every jiva's body. Like he's Vishnu. So Kirodakasha Vishnu. He enters in everybody's every jiva's body.
Yeah, that you said already, and that is correct answer. I'm looking for something more than that. If anyone can think of any other reason, Subhadra Mataji.
Jivatma is covered with avidya and with and affected by maya. Paramatma is not affected by maya or not covered by avidya.
Okay, but if Jivatma's avidya is removed, if it gets vidya, then is it able to know everyone?
No, it will only be in goodness. It will know only I am the soul.
So then that's why I'm asking why Jivatma is only able to know himself. Even if avidya is removed, still it can know only itself. Whereas Paramatma is able to know everyone. What is the difference? Anyone else wants to try? Yesterday in Chaitanya Charitamrita class, we discussed this. No? Priyanka Mataji, you want to try?
No, Mataji, I think I didn't attend the morning class, and if you are saying in evening we did, then I missed.
You missed. Okay, no problem. I'll just tell you. Yesterday we were talking about the chit. Chit means the conscious. So you have Sat, Chit and Ananda. Chit means the cognizance, the knowledge. Of course, the Lord and the living entity both are conscious beings, but the consciousness is different. The living entity being Anu, small, the capacity of knowledge is also very, very small. But the Lord is Vibhu. He is unlimitedly big. So naturally, his capacity, his chit is also very, very great. His cognizance, his knowing power is great. So although both are conscious, but like in simple words, like Srila Prabhupada says, there is quantitative difference, right? Qualitatively also, they are not completely identical. Qualitative difference is also there, but still, the chit, although both are conscious beings, both are cognizant. Paramatma is also cognizant, living entity is also cognizant. But living entity, inherently, we are talking about the inherent capacity of living entity. Okay. Inherently, the living entity is so minute that its chit potency is also very small. It can only know about itself. I am soul. Inherently. And when covered by avidya, its consciousness can spread only up to this body. It cannot go outside this body. And what Narasimha Prahaladeshwar Prabhu said is also true. He's there only in one body, but Paramatma is there in every body. And not only in every body, he's there in every atom and interatomic space. So there's nothing he does not know. He's present everywhere. That's also correct. And yes, Mataji, what Subhadra Mataji said, that is also correct, that the Lord is never covered by Maya. He never comes under the control of Maya. The living entity being Tatastha Shakti can be covered by Maya. That's why avidya, right? Covered by avidya. But the Lord never comes under avidya. Yes, Swati Mataji.
Yes, Mataji, you told that it is the spark and it is the like blazing flames.
Exactly. Exactly. The living entity is like a small spark. So qualitatively you can say this is also fire. But what can you achieve with a small spark? But when there's a blazing fire, like a forest fire, what can it do? Right? Recently we had. So it can burn down even cities, or a big area it can burn down, like that. So the Lord's chit is very powerful, very great, but the living entity is small. It can only know about itself. Okay. So is there anything which we did not cover as far as one more thing is, so further extension of Paramatma not being affected by Maya. So you can say that because he is not covered by avidya, so there's no question of ever losing or forgetting his identity. Like the living entity forgets because of avidya, Paramatma never forgets his identity. And also about the form, right? Paramatma has a personal form, whereas the living entity is uniform. He has a form, but his form is uniform. You don't see any, if the Jivatma, the Tatastha Shakti, just like a spark. What else? So the Lord is never covered by avidya, whereas living entity becomes covered by avidya. Because of avidya, now it will get ahankara. Ahankara will give him false identity. I am this body. And then he becomes affected, right? By sukham, dukkham, happiness, distress, attachment, hatred, raga, dvesha, all these things he'll become afflicted by these things. But Paramatma never comes under Maya, Maya's control, Mahamaya's control. So therefore, he never gets avidya. He doesn't forget himself. So naturally, he's not even affected by the coverings of the Jivatma. Both are present in the heart. Jivatma, Paramatma, both are there in the heart. But the Jivatma has all these coverings of false ego and chittam and mind and intelligence. The Jivatma is affected. Although Paramatma is right there with Jivatma, Paramatma is not affected. He doesn't get this moha, like, oh, this body, so someone related to this body is my person, someone who is enemy of this body is my enemy. No, he won't get any of this. He's just neutral. He doesn't have that attachment or hatred. Nor does he have any. So naturally, if you give something tasty to the tongue, the Jivatma is enjoying, or at least it claims to be enjoying. But Paramatma, he doesn't. He's not affected like that. Okay. So now we'll go to text 4. I don't know why my hand gets raised all the time. I think when I'm talking, just. So now we'll start with text 4, the next verse. And also some more in the purport, in the third verse, when comparing this Jivatma and Paramatma, Srila Prabhupada gives the example of, if you remember, the king and the citizens. So 3 points are said. Knower, proprietor, controller. You can note these 3 points. So the king knows his entire kingdom, whereas the citizen knows, that means if you say the citizens, each citizen is knowing his particular plot of land. He has a piece of land that he cultivates. So he knows his particular field, what type of soil and, how much he planted and how much produce he will get. So many things, the details he will know about his particular land thoroughly. But the king, he knows this farmers and all the farmers in his kingdom. That is the difference between Paramatma and Jivatma. The Jivatma, like we discussed just now, can know only his body. Whether he is covered by Vidya or Avidya, in both cases, he can only know his body. Only the difference is when covered by Avidya, he thinks, I am this body. When covered by Vidya, He's seeing only his body, even when covered by Vidya. But he sees, I'm not this body. That's all. That's all. I'm not this body, he will see. So he's knowing knowledge. The king's knowledge is about everyone in the kingdom. All lands that are there within his kingdom, he has a record of that. But the farmer will have a record of his small piece. Living entity and Paramatma. Another example is proprietorship. The king is the proprietor of all the kingdom. He owns it. The secondary owner is the farmer. That too of his little piece of land. He's the secondary owner. Okay? Just like when you rent an apartment. When you sign a lease for 1 year, for that 1 year, you own that apartment. But who is the real owner? The realtor. He owns it, he pays taxes and all that. But temporarily, for some time, you are the secondary owner. But the real owner is the realtor. Like that, the king is the proprietor of each piece of land and the entire land. So Paramatma is the proprietor of my body, your body, everyone's body. But me, the Jivatma, may be the secondary proprietor of this body. So that's the proprietor. I own this body, but it's just like you own your apartment that you're paying rent. For 1 year, you own it. But then when you're asked to leave, your time is over, you have to leave. You cannot claim, oh, this is mine. No. So when time comes, I have to leave this body. I cannot say this is my body. While I'm living in it, then I have to make sure that I'm responsible for its upkeep. Cleaning it, feeding it, right? Giving medicine when it falls sick, exercising, all this. Like that. Secondary proprietor. And the third point that Prabhupada says in the purport is about controller. Who controls? Temporarily, I control. I am the secondary controller. Just like secondary proprietor, I am secondary controller. So I have some control, right? Now I want to raise my hand. I'm lifting this body, my hand. I'm deciding. So I have some power, but that is secondary. Why? Because the real controller is Paramatma. Paramatma sitting in the heart is giving that Kriya Shakti and Jnana Shakti. Jnana Shakti means knowledge, right? How to do something, and that knowledge acquiring senses, eyes, whatever knowledge you're gaining. If Paramatma doesn't give power to those senses, the senses cannot gain any knowledge. And if Paramatma doesn't give Kriya Shakti, the capacity to do work, my hands can do nothing. That's why some people become handicapped. Paramatma didn't give them. Now you may say why he didn't give. He's not partial to anyone. Based on karma, he will give. Your karma dictates how much you should get, and he will give according to your karma. But he's controlling it. He's controlling it according to karma only, but he's the final controller. I am the secondary controller. Although I have the power, I can say, my eyes can see, I'll close my eyes. So I have some secondary power, right? I can choose what I want to do to some extent. I have some wiggle room, little bit of space where I can do my little things. Okay. And one more example was about the painter painting an easel. Painting is the body. Painter, the real person who's actually his ideas and he's painting, that is Paramatma. And the easel, the brush, is the living entity. So again, secondary. So you can say the brush is the one that has painted. But who is moving it? Paramatma. Like that. Okay. So now we'll go to text 4. Text 4. Tat kṣetraṁ yacca yādṛk ca yad-vikāri yataś sacha yo yat-prabhāvaś tat samāsena me śṛṇu. Okay, pay attention. Tat kṣetraṁ, about that body. Now Krishna is going to tell some things about that body. What is he going to tell? Yat Okay, there are words here. Yat. Yat means what? What is that body? Yadrk. So yat-cha. Yat-cha, one word. Yadrk-cha. Yadrk-cha. Then yad-vikāri. Yatah. Cha. And again yat-cha. Okay. What are the words? Yat, Yadrk, yad-vikāri, yatah, and yat. 5. So these 5 things the Lord is going to explain about what? About kṣetraṁ. What this yat is, what is yadrk, what is yad-vikāri, and what is yatah, and what is yat, I will explain to you. But these 5 things is going to tell about ksetra. Sacha yo yat-prabhāvaś tat samāsena me śṛṇu. Samāsena. Samāsena means in summary, in brief, I'm going to tell you. I'm not going to tell you in detail. These 5 topics, or maybe 6 also, yat-prabhāvaś, it is said, what is its influence. These 6 topics about kṣetraṁ, I'm going to tell you in summary. Now you hear from me. śṛṇu. Tat samāsena me śṛṇu. You hear from me. Okay. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Now please hear my brief description of this field of activity. What is the field of activity? This body. Please hear from me. Please hear my brief description of this field of activity and how it is constituted, what its changes are, whence it is produced. That means how it is produced, okay? Not when it is produced. Okay, whence it is produced means when and how it is produced. Who that knower of the field of activities is. Also know who is the knower of the field of activities and what his influences are. So all these things you will hear from me. I will explain to you from Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur's commentary in a minute. I'm reading Prabhupada's purport first. The Lord is describing the field of activities, means the body, and the knower of the field of activities in their constitutional positions. One has to know how this body is constituted. What is this body made up of? The materials of which this body is made, under whose control this body is working, how the changes are taking place, where from the changes are coming, what the causes are, what the reasons are, what the ultimate goal of the individual soul is, and what the actual form of the individual soul is. One should also know the distinction between the individual soul and the super soul that we discussed. Distinction between individual soul and super soul. Their different influences, their potentials, etc. One just has to understand this Bhagavad Gita directly from the description given by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and all this will be clarified. But one should be careful not to consider the Supreme Personality of Godhead in every body to be one with the individual soul, the jiva. This is something like equating the potent and the impotent. So one thing you should be careful, Srila Prabhupada is saying, not to consider the Paramatma to be the same as Jivatma. So the Mayavadis and Brahmavadis, if you consider I am that Brahman and therefore you go and merge, that's not good. That's not good means there is two in here. So you must see there are two knowers. There's not just me. I am there, but also there is Paramatma, and there's a difference between the two. One should be careful not to consider the Supreme Personality of Godhead in every body to be one with the individual soul. This is something like equating the potent and the impotent. So now I'm going to tell you from Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur's commentary on this verse. So what is the verse saying? That Now, tat kṣetraṁ yacca yādṛk yad-vikāri yataś yat sacha yo yat-prabhāvaś tat samāsena me śṛṇu. So, yat, I will show you the verse. Look at the verse here. Yat. What is yat now? Yacca means, what is this kṣetraṁ? What is it? Yat. What is this kṣetraṁ means? What is it made up of? What is kṣetraṁ made up of? What is this body made up of? Can you tell me? What is your body made up of?
23 elements, Mataji.
Yes, 23 elements. Yeah. If you take the gross body is made up of earth, water, fire, air. 5 gross elements. But yeah, if you see, because body is not just gross body, there is subtle body, gross body. So subtle body consists of mind, intelligence, ego, and then, chittam, senses, working senses, knowledge acquiring senses. And you have also, there are the controlling deities in this body. For each sense, there's a controlling deity. And you have gross body made up of earth, water, fire, air, ether. So yes, so this body is made of what? If you talk about the gross body, you can say the gross body is made of the 5 gross elements: earth, water, fire, air, ether. Okay. Well, yat means, what is it made up of? I'm going to explain in summary these things Krishna is saying. So the answer is given by Acharya. So yat means, what is it made of? It is made of 5 gross elements. For simplicity, the gross body is made up of 5 gross elements. Next is Yadrk. Yadrk. What is Yadrk? Let's see Yadrk here. Yatcha, Yadrikcha. What is Yadrk? And Prabhupada is saying here, and the translation is saying Yadrk means as it is. So Yadrk means, what are the dharmas of this kshetra? What are the dharma? So what is it composed of is yat. Yadrk means, what is it dharma? What is the dharma of the body? Sukham, dukkham, like that. Okay? That means you get attachment. So, did someone say something?
I think so. I think you can begin, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much. Hare Krishna, thank you so much for giving me this wonderful opportunity to speak on the glories of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita this morning. Before going
I think Nrsimha Prahlad Das Prabhu is unmuted.
Our
Where is it still?
which I could share.
I don't see him though.
Oh, he's there, Mataji.
He's there?
Yeah, he has 2 phones. He listens this one and that one.
No, but he's not. Acha, he's here. Okay,
He's there.
Okay. Got it. Okay. I wondered what happened. Okay. All right. So we'll go back to our yat and yadrk. So yat means, what is the composition of the body? We said the 5 gross elements: earth, water, fire, air, ether. Now we are looking at what is yadrk. Yadrk means, what are the dharmas? What are the dharmas of this body? So, sukham, dukkham, right? Getting happiness and distress are the dharmas of the body. Means, what do they tell you? This sukham, dukkham is temporary, isn't it? It's not eternal. Happiness of the soul is eternal, but happiness of the body is only temporary. Matra sparsha astu kaunteya shitoshna sukha dukkada. Agama paino nityas tam stitikshasva bharata. Like winter and summer seasons, they come and go. They are not always there. So that's what you understand. What is the dharma of this body? It is temporary. That's what you should understand. Okay. What is the dharma? Yat means what is the composition? The composition of the body is gross body made of 5 gross elements. Yadrk means what is the dharma of this body? The dharma is it is temporary, like sukham, dukham, they come and they go. So therefore, the dharma of the body is, it is not eternal. It is there for some time. It is temporary. Next, yad-vikāri. Vikara means what? Vikara means changes. Here. So yat, yadrk, yad-vikāri. What are the changes that occur in the body? Or what are the transformations that occur in the body? So you get attachment and you get hatred. So these are the transformations that are happening in the body. Changes occurring in the body. You like some food items and then you're attached to it. And some things you don't like, you cannot stand. Some people don't like sabudana. Others think it's great, right? So where is it coming from? Attachment, detachment. These things are happening where? In the mind. I like this, I don't like this. These things are actually functions of the mind. Mind is also body, subtle body. Like this, the vikaras, the transformations, right, that are happening in the body. Yad-vikāri. What are the changes that take place in the body? Yad-vikāri. Some things we get attached to, some things we don't get attached to. And then there is yataha. Yataha means this kṣetraṁ is formed by the union of Prakriti and Purusha. How? How is this body formed? Where is this body coming from? That is yataha. Okay? First yat. Yat means what is the composition. Yadrk means what is its dharma. Its dharma is it is temporary. Yad-vikāri. What are the transformations, changes happening in the body? Means attachment, hatred. These things are the transformations. Yataha. Where from did this body come? How did this body form? It formed by the union of Prakriti and Purusha. Purusha is Karanodakashaya Vishnu. Karanodakashaya Vishnu glanced on Prakriti. When he glanced on her, he impregnated her with all the Jivatmas. You know, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur compares this to a woman's becoming pregnant. Like the male sends his virya, right, his semen into the body of the woman. And then the woman, in the woman's body, the baby grows, right, and takes birth. So similarly, the living entity is sent by Karanodakashaya Vishnu into Prakriti. So Prakriti is the mother. Karanodakashaya Vishnu is the father. And from there, she is holding the living entities within her. And along with that, he sends Kala Shakti also. And then gradually, there's development. First, 23 elements are produced from her. Second time, again, these 23 elements, along with all these living entities and Kala Shakti, go inside the womb of Garbhodakshaya Vishnu. So that is, when the 23 elements are formed, the procedure is like this. If you are able to grasp it, fine. But first 23 elements are formed, but these 23 elements are not able to cooperate with each other. That means they are supposed to come together and form Brahmandas, the universes, but they are not able to do. So they pray. Prayers by the Ajanaja Devatas, right? The controlling deities of the 23 elements. Each element has a controlling deity. So in the third canto, 5th chapter, towards the end, we will see the prayers offered by the controlling deities of 23 elements. They offer prayers. They are devotees. They are devotees.
Mataji told the Acamana Devatas. Ajanana Devatas.
Yes, Ajanaja Devatas. So they offer prayers to the Lord because they want to render service to him. They're devotees, they want to render service to him, but they're not able to render service. Why they're not able to render service? Because they're all born, they're all born from Prakriti. The 23 elements are born from Prakriti. Each element is in a particular mode. For example, Mahat Tattva is in goodness. Ahankara is in ignorance. Senses are in passion, like that. So each one is being in a different mode, that means they're different by nature. So people who are different in natures, if you put them all in one room, they don't know what to do. But if you are similar, then you can get along and you can become friends. But each one has a different mentality, different nature. Everyone is sitting like this. Nobody is doing anything. Now, this is creation. The universe is supposed to be created, but the elements are not coming together to form the universe. So they offer prayers to the Supreme Lord. Then the Lord sends his Jnana Shakti, Kriya Shakti. So that is called Samhanana Shakti or Bibrit Shakti. He sends that Shakti into these 23 elements. Now, because of that Shakti, now they start cooperating. So that is why it is said, even as devotees, we can never, because everyone wants, unity, right? We want world peace. We want, in any company or in the whole world, we want everyone to come together and work peacefully and all that. Until and unless you get the Lord's Shakti, we will not be able to cooperate. Only when you receive the Lord's Shakti, here the Lord sent his Kriya and Jnana Shakti. So that means when you become a devotee, what happens? When you become a devotee, you get the Lord's Bhakti Shakti. When you get that Bhakti Shakti, then we will be able to cooperate, and together we will be able to do wonderful service for the pleasure of Krishna. Just like how these Ajanaja Devatas, they are able to create these wonderful Brahmandas. You know why they wanted to create these Brahmandas? Because this is a pastime of the Lord. This creation of universes is a pastime of the Lord. He has a desire to go and sleep in different places. Like small children, little babies means like toddlers. They just like to go and lay down, sometimes here, sometimes there, and they think it's fun. Sometimes on the sofa, sometimes on the table, sometimes under the table. They just go and lay down and they think it is fun. That's their play. Similarly, Karayoḥ Vishnu also, his pastime is sleeping, laying down, reclining. So he's been reclining for a long time there. Now he wants to go and recline in some other new place. That is his desire. And immediately Prakriti, who is his chaste wife, realizes, oh, my Lord wants to sleep in a different place. So immediately, she's a devotee. She's his chaste wife. So she'll make arrangements. So from Prakriti, all these 23 elements come. And using these 23 elements, so many Brahmandas, universes will be formed. And the Lord can come as Garbhodakshaya Vishnu. And in all these different places, he will go and sleep for some time. He will have fun. And then when it's done, then he'll get up and he'll go back. Like that. That is his pastime. So this whole creation is actually the pleasure pastime of Karayoḥ Vishnu. Otherwise, don't think that it is his duty. Creation is not his duty. You may think that, for me, I have to go to work at 9 o'clock. That is my duty. You cannot say that the Lord has also duties to do. That he has to create at this time so that all these living entities will get their bodies, and by that they can do this. So it is his duty. He has to create on time. No, he's beyond all duties. He's Atma Rama. He's, self-sufficient, and he doesn't need anything from outside, and he's not dependent on anyone. So he doesn't have any duties. When do you have a duty, right? When there's an authority, then you have to perform your duty. He has no duties to perform. Creation is not his duty, but it is his fun. It is his pastime. How is it a pastime? Acharya Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is explaining in this way. He wants to sleep in different places. So these Ajanaja Devatas, who are they? They're also coming from Prakriti. So Prakriti is creating these universes for the Lord to go and sleep. Ajanaja Devatas, 23 elements, they came from Prakriti only. So now they have to come together and form the universes. But because they're all made of different modes, they are not able to come together, unite, and form the universes. That means the Lord won't be able to enjoy. So they are praying, my Lord, we are not able to do anything. Everything has come to a standstill. Please help us so that we can cooperate for your service so that you can get some pleasure. That's their motive, to give pleasure to the Lord. So they pray. Wonderful prayers there. Glorifying bhakti. Then the Lord says, okay, so he will send his. So now they need to know what to do. And also they need to get the capacity to actually do something. Prakriti is jada. Yesterday again in Chaitanya Charitamrita class we discussed the difference between chit and jada. Right? The Lord and the jivatmas are conscious beings. Whereas the Bahiranga Shakti is jada. It's not conscious. You take any jada padartha that's around you, table, pen, book, your earphones, whatever you have, it's jada. It won't move on its own. It won't do things on its own. But conscious being can do. So Prakriti is jada. These elements are also jada. They're not able to do anything. So the Lord sends his Shakti. The Lord is conscious being. He's sending his Shakti. Kriya Shakti and Jnana Shakti. By that Shakti, now things will start moving. So he gives Jnana Shakti to these elements. So now they understand. Jnana means knowledge. They get knowledge, what they should do, how to cooperate. They get the knowledge, but simply knowledge is not sufficient. You get all knowledge, the recipe of how to make chapati and sabji, you get the knowledge, but you also need to actually you need strength, physical strength, isn't it? You need capacity in your hands to go and do. Both are required. Kriya Shakti is required and Jnana Shakti is also required. So the Lord gives Jnana Shakti, what to do, and also he gives Kriya Shakti, the ability to do that work also he gives to these 23 elements. That Shakti which he gives is called Bibhrit Shakti or Samhanana Shakti. So and then immediately when they receive this Shakti, now they all come together. Just like you have atta, you put water and the atta comes together in the form of a dough. Right? And that dough you divide into so many balls. Like that, these 23 elements, when the Lord sent his Kriya Shakti, Jnana Shakti, they came together and formed so many universes, like so many balls. That's what happened. Now, that principle is applicable to us also. How? Unless you receive the Shakti of the Lord, being different, we cannot cooperate. What Shakti do we need? We need Bhakti Shakti from the Lord. When you get Bhakti Shakti, then we will be able to overcome our differences and come together and perform wonderful service for the pleasure of the Lord. Now, in spite of coming into devotional service for so many years, if we are not able to cooperate to render devotional service to the Lord, means, tell me, means what? If I'm not able to cooperate, if we are not able to come together, overcoming our differences and render devotional service to the Lord, then it implies all of you are there.
Bhakti Shakti is not there.
Yes, thank you. Bhakti Shakti is not there. That's what it means. So therefore, we have to sincerely rectify the loopholes wherever we are missing, lacking. Why I'm not having Bhakti Shakti? First of all, I don't even have proper Shraddha. Dhrida Shraddha is not there. So let me build that Shraddha by associating with devotees, by hearing from Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, also by performing my sadhana properly. So increase. So when you get that Bhakti Shakti, I will be able to cooperate. And by this cooperation, when we want, make a wonderful offering of devotional service to the Lord will enjoy. So these 23 elements now create the universes, so many universes. Then the Lord comes and sleeps there. Garbhodakshay Vishnu sleeps there. And after he sleeps, that in each of these universes, again, those 23 elements are divided. They're there. They're there in each universe. There's a chunk of 23 elements. And when you say 23 elements, Jiva Shakti is also there in that. All living entities are there. The 23 elements are there. The Lord Samhanana Shakti, Bibhrit Shakti, Kala Shakti, they're also there. All Shaktis are there in each universe. And the Lord himself is also entering as Garbhodakshaya Vishnu. He's laying in that universe. First he fills it, half of it he fills with his sweat, perspiration. And then he's laying there. And then he takes this chunk of 23 elements inside his belly. So now here at this point, it's not like again, male and female, it's not there. The Lord himself, he's taking that Prakriti inside his belly. That's why it's called Garbhodakashaya Vishnu. He's sleeping in the Garbhodaka ocean. And in his Garbha, he's keeping this chunk of 23 elements along with the Jiva Shakti. For 1,000 years he will keep, celestial years, 1,000. Then after that, Virata Purusha comes in the form of the lotus stem, and on top is the lotus flower. So simultaneously Virata Purusha and Brahmaji, they come out from Garbhodakshaya Vishnu. Now Brahmaji will have all the living entities that came through the glance of Karanodakshaya Vishnu and entered Prakriti, and they are traveling now in these 23 elements, and they entered into the universe, and then now they are inside the belly of Garbhodakshaya Vishnu. And Garbhodakshaya Vishnu, when Virata comes and Brahmaji, these living entities go to the top of the lotus there with Brahmaji. Now Brahmaji, using the ingredients from Virata, Virata will also have two, Sthula Virata, Sukshma Virata. Sthula means gross Virata, Sukshma means subtle Virata. What is Sthula Virata? The aggregate of all material bodies is Sthula Virata. The aggregate of all subtle bodies is Sukshma Virata. Of course, the bodies are not created yet, but everything is there. All the ingredients are there. Brahmaji will now select, he has all these living entities, conditioned souls covered with avidya, he has, and their karma is also there. He will select one conditioned soul, Arcanabhakti Devi Dasi. And then he will see, oh, this is her karma. So she should get this much intelligence. He'll take from Virata's Sukshma Deha, this much intelligence. And her Chitta, she should get this much. He'll take from Sukshma Virata, this much Chitta. And what else? Mind, this type of mind. And senses, this much power in her senses. Her hands should have this much power. Her eyes should have this much power. He will give. And then the gross body, he'll take from gross Virata. Her hands like this. Her head should be like this. Her features should be like her. And then like this, he gives a body, Sukshma body and Sthula body, by taking ingredients from Sthula Virata and Sukshma Virata. That means he's deciding, he's deciding this much should be there, right? As per your karma. So now you'll be sent. So before that, he'll also, the planetary systems will be there, right? Lower, upper, middle planetary systems. And then he will give names to them and all that. And then who will live on which planet, which type of species will live on which planet. And then he'll also decide according to her karma, who will be her parents, how much time she should live. All this he will do, and he'll give the bodies. Why I told you this whole story? We are reading about Yatcha, Yadrikcha, yad-vikāri, yataś. So that yataha, to explain that yataha, where from this kshetra has come, this body of Arcanabhakti Devi Dasi has come from where? Started there, when Karanodakshaya Vishnu glanced on Prakriti. By the union of that Jiva Shakti, living entities coming from the body of Karanodakshaya Vishnu, sent into Prakriti, then she became pregnant with these living entities, Prakriti, and then step by step, first 23 elements came, then they prayed to the Lord, then they got Kriya Shakti, Jnana Shakti, they came together, formed the universes. In each universe, the Lord entered as Garbhodakshaya Vishnu. He takes the 23 elements inside his womb. Virata comes, Brahmaji comes, the living entities, he gives subtle and gross bodies. And finally, now I have my subtle and gross body. Where from did this body come? By the union of Karanodakshaya Vishnu and Prakriti. Yataś, where from did this body come? This is the background story, where from it came. Okay. So what did we see now? Yatcha, Yadrk, yad-vikāri, yataś. Okay. We saw yatcha. Yat means what is it composed of? Yadrk means what is its dharma? It is temporary. What is it composed of? You can say the 23 elements or 5 gross elements if it is the gross body. Yad-vikāri, what are the transformations? Attachment, right? Hatred, all these things. Yataha, where from did it come? It came from the combination of Purusha and Prakriti. That's the thing. And then Yatascha, Yat. Again, one more, there is Yat. What is that Yat? Yatcha means, now this ksetram is of many types. Body is also of many kinds, isn't it? You have the body of a dog, body of a cat, of a demigod, human being, mosquito, cockroach, rakshasa, tree. So many types of bodies are there. So yatcha means this body is of many types. What are the various types of the body? Now the Lord is going to tell about all these things. That's the point. The Lord is going to tell about all these things. So in text 4, Krishna is telling Arjun, after saying that the body is kshetra, the knower of the body is kshetrajna, I am also the knower, but I know all bodies. Knowledge is knowing this body, and its knower is knowledge. Now Krishna is saying, now you listen from me as I explain to you in summary about this kshetram, about this body. What are the different aspects of this body that I'm going to explain? I'm going to explain what is its composition, what is its dharma, what are its transformations or changes, then where did it come from, how did it come, this body, and what are the different types of this body. Fine. Okay. With that, we can end today's session. Does anyone have any questions, comments? Still, I'm not doing very well as far as time. We still went 15 minutes over, but I will try to finish it on time. Okay, so we can end here today. Grantharaj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Samaveta Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya evacha, Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Thank you all so much. All of you have
Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.